Every month or so, there's a rebrand posted on LinkedIn that creates quite a lot of furor. This week, that brand in question was Tate Lyle's Golden Syrup. Now, this rebrand is stripped back much of the instantly recognisable heritage, and the big question is, does it work? There are few, if any, brands with as much pedigree and heritage as this. That's something to be celebrated and honoured. This oversimplification and blanding is a trend from yesteryear, which was finally and thankfully, hopefully, dying out. To simplify an icon to such a degree removes all of this heritage, especially in an environment where brands such as Aldi and Lidl are all too keen to create copycat versions. This plays right into their hands and creates something which is even easier to copy and much harder to own. A real shame. So the recent announcement is that Tate & Lyle's Golden Syrup will be updating its classic packaging design on some of the products, whilst keeping its iconic tin design on others, and it sparked much discussion. This over 150-year-old brand carries an incredible story and meaning for consumers. As such, any changes warrant careful consideration to balance evolving with modern times and retaining brand heritage. So what's happened? Everyone will instantly recognise this design. It's something you've grown up with, and I can almost guarantee everybody has a tin of it in the kitchen cupboard somewhere. It's the epitome of ornamentation, and that, indeed, is part of its charm. Only the golden arch and some of the ornamentation has been retained on the redesign. Much of this has been stripped back and simplified, with some of the ornamentation being copy and pasted to other areas of the pack. The original iconography of the lion, which has to be said I only found out recently had a biblical connotation, has been removed and replaced with a simplified lion head crafted from blobs of golden syrup. One of the things that really worked well with the original design, as well as the ornamentation, was the depth it created on pack with a balance of white, gold, green and black. This simplification has stripped down this to a green and gold colour scheme, removing a lot of the depth and a lot of the interest. In this podcast, we'll analyse this rebranding from a packaging design and branding strategy perspective. What are some of the best practices that they got right? What watch-outs or pitfalls does this case highlight that brands should consider when redesigning long-standing packaging design? To inform this discussion, I'm going to reference some of the comments that I've seen across a variety of different posts on LinkedIn, as well as some broader principles. First, it's important to acknowledge just how iconic Tate & Lyle's Victorian-style tins and lion imagery have become. As noted, the biblically inspired design has held the Guinness World Record for the oldest unchanged packaging since 1888. Quite a feat. For generations of consumers, these tins elicit fond memories from childhood or family traditions. The familiar green colour, lion, bee and slogan of "out of the strong came forth sweetness" instantly signal Tate & Lyle's brand values. When brands reach this cultural icon status through such enduring packaging, any significant alterations risk eroding those nostalgic connections. We see this danger called out by several online comments lamenting oversimplification or losing brand character that once distinguished Lyle's from its competitors. However, as Lyle's brand director suggests, brands have to demonstrate their relevance to contemporary consumers or risk declining purchase interest. Now, packaging plays a key role in attracting initial consumer attention and conveying brand image on a crowded store shelf. More traditional or elaborate historical designs can potentially read as outdated, stuffy or exclusionary if not thoughtfully translated for modern tastes. This rebranding aims to strike that delicate balance of preserving Tate & Lyle's rich legacy whilst increasing appeal and accessibility for today's shoppers through much more contemporary packaging. The intent of this rebranding seems to be about updating peripheral extensions like the plastic bottles, but retaining the cornerstone tin design most associated with Tate & Lyle's heritage. Some comments on LinkedIn argue that this redesign oversimplifies to the point of diluting brand distinction or losing sight of Tate & Lyle's history. When well-established packaging moves in drastically simpler directions, it risks weakening connection to that equity built up over decades. Brands must avoid generic, homogenized looks that blur differences in a category. As one comment notes regarding copycat private label products, simplified packaging can actually enable competitors, and let's face it, brands like Aldi and Lidl, to mimic a brand's look versus the more distinctive, elaborate designs from the brand itself. Tate & Lyle's Golden Syrup case reinforces why branding decisions around long-time packaging require such care and diligence. Brands have to thoroughly understand what makes their packaging iconic from a consumer perspective before attempting any redesigns. More significant revamps have got to balance conveying relevance and approachability to new shoppers with signalling the brand's legacy to maintain that emotional connection with its core consumer base. When long-beloved packaging feels overly stripped of beloved distinctiveness in the name of modernisation, a backlash will often follow. But incremental change allows brands to slowly acclimatise audience to packaging evolution whilst protecting equity in immortal icons like Tate & Lyle's syrup tin. Well, that's it. That's a wrap, as they say. I hope you found it informative. If it adds value, then please do subscribe. I'm Al, owner and creative director of Slice Design. You can follow me on my LinkedIn page, which is linkedin.com/in/Alan Gilberty, or you can follow us on our company website, which is slicedesign.co.uk. So until next time, have a fantastic week and keep well.